Football show on the SportsMax zone this Thursday. Let's start off with the first leg of the quarterfinal stage of the UEFA Europa League. And those matches this afternoon. The Red Devils of Manchester United, they led 2-0 at the half, but produced a below-par performance in the second half to come away with a 2-2 draw against Sevilla. Let's check out those highlights now.
So it's Marcel Sabitzer who has the first kick of the night, the first kick of this two-legged Europa League quarter-final tie. Anthony was too quick there, and there's a chance already, and there's a chance taken already. Sancho's put it in, only for disappointment to be writ large across his face when he sees the offside flag raised. Anthony just took a nudge there from Acuna. Sancho now. Anthony. Bono makes the save. That was superb. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Sabitzer took it. Sabitzer scores it. Into the feet of Sabitzer, whose movement was timed just right. Away from Marcel. Looks to have been really revved up by the confidence that his manager's put in him. And he's played Sabitzer in again. And he's scored again. Sabitzer's timing again is spot on. The pass is delicious. Here's Anthony. Three in the middle. Anthony trying to tease it in, and Nianzou decided that was the safest course of action. Anthony. Bono will be beaten to that. And it's come to Bruno Fernandes. Sabitzer nearly got it. And there's Sancho. And here's Sancho, unable to find a way through past Bono. Now Casemiro. And that's blocked. Looking for a Campos to help it on. Oh, what a save, De Gea. Up it goes and out it goes. Anthony. Anthony has a go. It can't have been far away, judging by the dive of Sevilla keeper Bono. The pass is on for Anthony. Sancho is through the middle, being followed by Bruno Fernandes. It's Anthony. It's off the woodwork. Here's Pellistri. He's pulled it back for Sabitzer. It's Weghorst, and it's Malacia. And it ought to have been 3. Not able to be controlled by Ocampos. Ball back in for Malacia to let it run, and Navas has got it in via De Gea. Sevilla have their goal back. Elanga, first of all, let Navas drift away from him. Then Navas trying to pull it back. Ocampos. It's a good-looking delivery, and it's in for 2-2. En-Nesyri has done it. Manchester United only have themselves to blame for not scoring more, for being careless in possession in their own half of the field, for giving Sevilla the confidence to keep on plugging away. And En-Nesyri's leaped. His header has gone straight against Harry Maguire, which took it away from David De Gea. They've had 2 enormous strokes of luck to score 2 goals. Well worth the journey after all. Many of those Sevilla supporters will have been in Manchester already this season to see their side lose 3-1 at Manchester City in the Champions League. But in the Europa League, they are a different proposition, Sevilla.
Yes, so the Europa League King Sevilla getting a result there after trailing Man United by 2-0 at the half. And you know what, in the zone room where there are a lot of Man United fans, I wasn't monitoring too much what was happening in the first half. I just saw the score. And when I saw Maguire coming on, the zone room people don't rate Maguire very highly, as you would know. I asked the question, is Man U leading 5-0? Because that's the only way we would feel comfortable as Man U fans with Maguire coming on. And he had a part to play in Man United not holding on to the result. Leger Williams joins us to recap what happened in that match today, as well as the other matches, which we're going to review in a moment. But Man United looked very good, Lig, in the first half of the game, but huge disappointment for them that they didn't come away with the result.
Yeah, it is a big disappointment. Manchester United, they were playing some really good stuff in the first half, especially a lot of tactical innovation by Erik ten Hag, you know, playing Bruno Fernandes a bit deeper, allowing Sabitzer to get more into the box and taking the shots on, so that can help with build up. And they're really dominating Sevilla, and that's something that Manchester United really haven't done in their past games against Sevilla, against Spanish opposition generally. Man United tend to struggle, but they were really out of the blocks in this one. They were playing some fast, aggressive football, and they got the results in the first half. But in the second half, I think they got a little bit complacent. They started to play around with a couple of chances, and then once it came down to it, it was two unfortunate incidents, two own goals are something you can never account for, and that's what led to their downfall in the end, and the game ended up 2-2.
Huge worry for them going for the second leg, or they would be able to set things right, because this is Sevilla in Europa League football.
Yeah, and Sevilla aren't a good team right now, to be frankly honest. They're 13th in La Liga. They've been struggling all season, and their third manager actually for the season. But I think it would be a routine win for United no matter what, if they were fully healthy. But then now when you couple that with the fact that Varane came off injured at halftime, Lisandro Martinez, prayers up to him, he looked like he supposedly did something with his Achilles, which is never a good injury. He might be out for quite some time. Rashford was already out already. Bruno Fernandes is also suspended for the second leg. So there's a lot of injuries, now a suspension. It would be difficult for them, especially going down to Sevilla, and we'll have to see what type of mindset they come out with.
Yeah, what we will hope, and of course the Manchester United fans will hope, is that they see a complete turnaround. How much responsibility, though, does Erik ten Hag take for today's performance? Because when we think about the tactical changes, the substitutions, the difference we saw from Manchester United in the first half versus the second half, how much responsibility?
I think that's a difficult question, mainly so because they were up that much, they created that many chances due to his tactical setup in the first place. People tend to peddle around a narrative that because he made substitutions and the poor results in the second half would be on him. But he made those changes when they were 2-0 up coasting. Even in the second half, they still should have extended the lead with the said substitutes on the park. They didn't take those chances. A manager can't go out on a field and hold players' hands. He can only set them up the best possible way to take advantage of the team tactically, and that's what Manchester United did for almost all of the game. It was two own goals, an individual mistake by Malacia to let the ball even go over his head in the first place, and then for the second instance, Maguire really can't do anything about that. They were extremely unlucky. They limited Sevilla to very minuscule chances all across the 90. It's just something that you have to, it comes with it. Man United were ruthless enough, and that, I don't think that's down to the manager. It can't be.
Right, and speaking about individuals, Sabitzer getting the first two goals for Manchester United, setting them apart from Sevilla. How do you rate him? And of course, what did you think about his performance before that second half?
Sabitzer is a good player. He's in the mold. I like to think of him as a German. He's Austrian, but he got his football education in Germany mostly. I like to think of him like a German version of Christian Eriksen. Likes to play as attacking midfield, but likes to invade the box as well, will score goals, but he's just more of a high energy player, really gets the job done in that aspect. So he was always going to get on the score sheet for United eventually. He got 2 tonight. He played well. He did well. I think he did well overall. He allowed Bruno to stay deep and dictate from deep, which is something that United need because they don't have much ball playing and progression in certain aspects from deep progression. So it was a good tactical move by Ten Hag, I think, but in the second half things happened and Manchester United folded.
As far as Europe is concerned, Europa League obviously is the lesser of the two championships that they battle for there. Having said that, how important do you think this is for Ten Hag and Man United that they win this title?
It could be very important because the top 4 isn't done and dusted as yet. This could be just a good way for them to just completely assure themselves that they're getting Champions League football, which will allow them to invest more heavily in the summer as well, because their squad does need a lot of reinvestment. So it will be very interesting to see how they navigate it with the injuries and the suspensions, but I think it is a good trophy for them to win, just to build confidence, because winning breeds winning after all.
Yeah, I heard a Man United fan suggest today that the squad is just about probably 3 huge signings or big signings from a complete looking squad that could return to Man United glory.
I wouldn't say a complete looking squad, from a complete looking starting 11. I think that could be the case.
Yes.
I think there are box to box midfielder away, a striker away, and probably another right back slash centre.
Well, that's what he was saying, about 3 or 4 signings.
Yeah, and a keeper away from being a...
But that's a lot, though,
That's
because
like a whole
yeah, you
team. I'm listening to y'all and I'm thinking, okay, so are you saying that you need a whole team?
No, you need four players, 4 quality signings, and
Even
I think
in fantasy football, you know you can't get 4 transfers one time.
But in fantasy football, you don't have Manchester United money, so you have to bear that in mind as well.
Okay, let's turn our focus now to Turin, where Juventus welcomed the Portuguese side Sporting to the Allianz Stadium for their quarter-final tie. Let's see what happened there.
So Juventus in their familiar stripes get the ball rolling. And now Juve moving with purpose. Here's Milik. Quadrado flying up. He used him by not using him. And now Trincao. Keen to work shooting space himself. Di Maria and Chiesa looking to get away. Keeps his head and tests the goalkeeper, Antonio Adan. Chiesa switching flanks, finding Di Maria. This is promising. Chiesa. Taken well by Gonçalves. This is Trincao. Morita. Sporting just getting a greater grip in the last few minutes. Escaio. Gonçalves. Chesney busy again. This is Edwards. Oh, lovely play by Edwards. And Nuno Santos now. Well, I think it was Bremer who got the telling touch. But here comes Sporting. Oh, and Perin having to produce his first save of the night. Vlahovic coming in. Oh, and finally in by Gatti. The searching delivery. Adan tempted. Vlahovic getting his head to it. Coates getting there, but ultimately Diomandi only able to present it to the big defender. And what a moment for him. And not convincing. Well, Bellerin ghosting in round the back, and that's a crucial intervention by Pogba. And Bellerin creating some space for Gonçalves to move into. Bellerin. Hector Bellerin for Sporting. Useful. Oh, and Morita. Diomande, a hit and hope. And that is the last act. And Juventus will take a slender lead to Lisbon, courtesy of Federico Gatti's first goal for the club.
Yeah, currently 7th in the Serie A, Juventus, so domestically not doing very well, but as far as their home record in the Europa League is concerned, 14 matches unbeaten now at home, 1-0 advantage. Pretty slim here against the Portuguese Lige. Your thoughts on what happened today, Gatti being their man of the match winning performance?
I think that result really sums up Juventus to a T. I don't think they played really well. They didn't create a lot of chances, and they came up against a good team, I think, in Sporting Lisbon.
In other words, this tie isn't over.
No, definitely not, especially there. They've proven they beat Tottenham at their ground. They drew with Arsenal at their ground as well. They just knocked out Arsenal from the Europa League general. They're a good team, very, very, very well coached by Ruben Amorim, 38-year-old coach. He's doing really wonders down there. They play a really aggressive style of football. They play really quick, a lot of interplay. I think they're a really good team. So it's not over by any stretch of imagination. But Juventus have this thing about them, is just they just win. I'm not sure what it is. Even though they're in 7th in the league, you have to remember that they got the points reduction. So they really shouldn't even be in 7th. But they've been in such good form in the league. Although they lost over the weekend to Lazio, they've just been getting results, and that's what they do. They're playing spectacular football.
Yeah, they were on a 3-game winning streak heading into last weekend's match.
Yeah, they aren't doing anything spectacular tactically, anything great. They're just winners. I don't know how to explain it, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like Barcelona. At a point in the season, they were just getting the wins that they needed, not doing anything fancy. The one goal here and there that needed them to secure the win. I think something similar to that?
Yeah, something kind of similar, but even less so, because at least Barcelona will create chances and miss them. Juventus just seemingly get those 1 and 2 favors of luck in there. favor, and they just score. And just like what happened today, I don't think they're the better team, but they got the result. They have a lead carrying into the second leg, and I think they'll be confident in going there.
Speaking about getting the chances, it's Gatti, a defender, right? Getting the goal in today. And I think the manner in which that goal was scored is a perfect example of what you're speaking about. You know, just those strange moments that pop up. And of course, the players get the goal in the back of the net.
Yeah, Juventus don't really have a tactical plan of how to create chances apart from putting crosses into the box. So what they do is try to just rely on set pieces a lot, or individual moments of brilliance, and it was the first of which, the set piece that got it. Vlahovic, he got his head on the ball, and then after a little bit of bumbling, a little of whatever happened for them, it fell to get it right on the line. He couldn't miss Sir Lance himself. Well, Sir Lance can score harder chances than that, but
yeah,
you could have scored that one, right?
Excuse me. What do you mean? Didn't you see my video with me scoring, Leger?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, anyone could have scored that chance. That's what I was trying to say.
No, but what you're trying to say is that my football skills is not that good. So, Lance can score it, but Mariah, even you can score it.
Let me put it even better. Even Ricardo could score that one, because we saw the video.
Thank you.
So, yeah, but
not good.
Yeah, so Juventus, they just rely on individual moments, as you can see there. Chiesa, Di Maria, Vlahovic, they have a really good front three. Yeah. But anything else behind that,
before we leave this game, though, I'm listening to you carefully, Lige, and I'm getting the sense that you fancy Sporting winning this tie. Based on their quality.
I think that they will do it. The only thing that would stop them from doing it is either if Juventus get another set piece goal or just more individual brilliance from their front three. Yeah. But tactically, style of play wise, everything Sporting is completely superior to this Juventus team.
Well, let's see what happens in the second leg. Jose Mourinho and his AS Roma, they suffered a 1-0 defeat to the Dutch leaders Feyenoord earlier on Thursday. That match played in Rotterdam, and I'm not sure how much of that you saw, Lige, but your thoughts on that result?
Well, that's an interesting one for me as well. Feyenoord have been on a tear this season, even last season as well. This is a rematch of the Conference League final that happened last year. Feyenoord and Roma. Roma won that game 1-0. Feyenoord got back their revenge in this game. Pellegrini missed a penalty in the first half, close to the end of it. That's usually a chance that Juventus, Roma, would take right to the bank. They would probably have scored that penalty and won the game 1-0.
That's right.
But even so be the case, Feyenoord came back. Feyenoord are playing really good stuff. They're on top of the Eredivisie right now in the Netherlands. They're coached really well by Arne Slot as well. They have some good, exciting players, and they gave Roma a really tough game. But I think it's another one. Not that I think that Roma is a better team, but it's complete the flip of the Juventus case. I think that Mourinho knows how to win these ties, and I think once it gets back to Italy, I'd fancy Roma to get the better of Feyenoord in this tie.
All right, there were two drawn matches in the quarterfinals first leg today. The Man United game with Sevilla, which we spoke of, but the match between Bayer Leverkusen and Royal Union SG also ended in a draw. 2 less goals, 1-1 that one ended. Pretty tight between them. Yeah,
it was a really tight game. Union SG has been a fairy tale this season. They've been putting in performances left, right and centre. They haven't been favoured in any of their ties, but they're here in the quarterfinals against this Leverkusen team that's really resurging right now. Xabi Alonso is their coach, really good holding midfielder in his day, and he's really added a Spanish flair and a Spanish patience to what Bayer Leverkusen are trying to do. They're now unbeaten in 10 games, 8 wins in all competitions. They're playing some really good stuff, and at the spearhead of their attack is young Florian Wirtz, who scored again today, one of the best young players in Europe. Recently came back from an injury, but he's been playing some really good football as of late. Leverkusen generally are tactically a very interesting team. I could speak about it for quite some time. I'm not sure we have all that time. No. But I think Leverkusen, I think they'll get through in this tie, barring another miracle for Royal Union SG.
All right, I think you're going to be with us for the next segment as well, Lige, because we're going to talk some Link Cup quarterfinal football, which you covered on Wednesday evening, I think. We go to break. When we come back, more football on the SportsMax Zone.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.